Hey guys, welcome back to another Manga Spotlight video. Today we are reviewing Goblin Slayer side story Year 1. This is the prequel or origin story to the Goblin Slayer. When I first heard this was coming out, I was like, do we really need like a side story this soon? Like, come on, like we just got Goblin Slayer like what? Like late last year, I think it was. But man, was I totally wrong. We need this. We need this. It's just as good as the original Goblin Slayer. It picks up. Well, it starts actually at the very beginning. His town gets slaughtered. Goblin Slayer's town gets slaughtered. You find out what happens to his sister. You find out how he survives the goblin attack. You get to learn more about the farm girl. I don't remember if she actually ever gets a name, but she shows up in the later on. I think that's her. That's her right there. Later on, but this takes place, I think, a couple years before Goblin Slayer starts. So we get after he gets out of the village and survives basically the goblin attack. We move on to the farm girl. We get her point of view, and like she finds out that he's still alive because she thought he was dead with the goblin attacks, and they were like neighbors in the village that they both lived at. And we get her point of view and like how things happen for her. And we move on to the Adventures Guild girl at the beginning, which is very interesting. And we get to see Goblin Slayer pick up his first quest, and it's to go slay goblins, which is pretty interesting. We get to find out like what armor he chooses and like what equipment he chooses and like why he chooses that equipment. And then we get into the big meat of the story, which is the goblin fight itself, which is pretty. It's like a couple chapters. It's pretty epic. The goblin fight is. You see him basically try to take down a nest of goblins, and doesn't necessarily work out all that too well for him at some points. He takes on a hobgoblin at one point, which nearly kills him. At one point, his sword breaks, and he has to figure out how to adapt to his surroundings. And you know, they form a sneak attack on him at one point. He's like, "What? I thought I like covered all my bases and whatnot." He fights a shaman goblin, which is pretty epic. It's an epic fight when he fights the shaman. You know, at one point he gets before the shaman he gets poisoned and he almost dies, but through sheer willpower he musters through and like just, you know, keeps going. He does some pretty interesting tricks in this to fight the goblins. I won't give him too many away, but you see him kill his first baby goblins, which is pretty interesting. He starts counting all the goblins he kills, and he makes a few mistakes. Like he gets attacked, he barely makes it out of the his first mission actually, but he rescues the girl that was taken by the goblins, and you know, he goes to stay with the farm girl because he has no place to stay. And, you know, he continues his quests. And we also get, which is pretty cool, a little snippet of his training with his master, his the person who trains him, which is pretty cool. And it's just a very short snippet. And the guy is not a very nice guy. He's pretty hardcore. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this. It gives more character development to some of the characters so far, like Goblin Slayer and the farm girl. and their motivations and whatnot, and how he can improve his armor and stuff and his fighting techniques and whatnot. If you're a fan of Goblin Slayer, the ongoing manga, light novel, or anime, check out Goblin Slayer Side Stories Year 1. You will not be disappointed, I'll tell you that much. It's a fun ride, and I cannot wait for the next volume. It's a good addition to the Goblin Slayer story, if I say so. It got me. It got its hooks in me. Even though I was already a Goblin Slayer fan, I had my doubts on if I was going to continue this or not, because I was like, I didn't know if I really needed to know Goblin Slayer's origins. But it got me, and I'm on this for the rest of the ride. I can't wait to read more. Comment down below if you have read this and tell me your thoughts on it. Or if you hate, like it, whatever. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. It always helps. Thanks for watching. Go check out Goblin Slayer Year 1. It's a fun ride, and it's just good. Just pure, intense, gory goodness with a good heart. So yeah, go check out Goblin Slayers. I'll catch you later. Peace out.